we know that now. Let's be honest and address the elephant in the room. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a coach.
Yes.
With respect to all the qualified coaches, of course. What does the role of coaching contribute in building leaders?
I think...
And what kind of coaching?
Great coaching does two things. First of all, it raises your self-awareness. So you become aware of what's happened or why you think that way. Why do you feel that way? So there's an awareness that great coaches are able to facilitate. And then the second bit is all about thinking and feeling different. So when you think about the quality of a coaching conversation, it's going to be grounded in your ability as a coach to create self-awareness and to influence someone's thinking and feeling.
Yeah, and this is why I'm a big fan of the cognitive behavioral coaching approach. And, because I studied coaching psychology, I had the chance to add tools into my toolbox as a coach to work on the thinking and the cognitive behavioral coaching methodology that I use with the client. And I find that this puts the, how we say in French, les points sur les i, نقط على حروف بالعربي. So it's very important that it puts things in perspective and the person understand themselves and understand why they're behaving, and from there start doing this, interrupting these false beliefs or interrupting a pattern that a leader used to all of their life, or not only them, they've seen someone else doing it and they learned from the other leader. So I agree with you. What about the training interventions? So we said gamification, we said psychometric, we said coaching. What about the traditional training interventions in a classroom? Does this help the people raise their self-awareness?
It depends on the facilitator.
Yes.
If they have someone like us, absolutely.
Exactly. Humble people.
No, it does. I mean, it really does depend. You see,
is it the facilitator or as well the training structure and all of the element and the content?
I think, there's multi.
It's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things that happen. But if you think about it, I always think that people need to be reminded, not trained. Like if I'm working with leaders, I don't think I need to train them.
Yeah.
I need to remind them of what they could do differently in order to improve their leadership effectiveness, leadership influence or impact.
Yeah.
So to me, like I go in and I always think that it's really important if you're going to have group training, of course, content matters. Like what are you going to share with them? And that content needs to do, it needs to raise their self-awareness around, what can I do with this? How am I, if I was to take this on, this bit of theory or this model that you are now teaching us, how will it impact me? What are my realizations? What are my reflections? And then I think, it's really so there's that awareness piece, and it's getting them to think differently. So, we talk about that as a coaching skill, but it's also a facilitator skill.
Yes.
So do you do straight out teaching?
Yeah.
Or do you facilitate?
Yeah.
And I think that the challenge that group trainers have is that they fundamentally show up in front of a group of people and they just deliver the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And people
and this
in the
is
room,
the difference between an experienced and capable facilitator and not.
Yeah, so if I was to say what makes a great trainer is their ability not to read from the slides and be able to say something different to what the slide says.
Yeah.
Because if I'm standing in... Go ahead.
Enrich it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Provide an example. But I think, too often you see them read off the slide, and the people in the room are thinking, why didn't you just send me the PowerPoint? I could have read this.
Exactly.
Why are you here? So it's your ability to add a different layer of narrative to what that slide is saying. And if you can do that and be able to ask them insightful questions about, well, what is on the slide? So what's standing out about this slide? And get the group to think about rather than just read out what's on the slide.
Yeah.
So I think your ability to facilitate over training, because you're showing up with a group and you're going to engage them in a dialogue, in a discussion, individually, table groups, get them to self-reflect. So there's lots of different layers that is happening in order to make your training effective.
I see a lot of leaders taking the initiative to go out there, even if the organization is not developing them. And I admire that, because I've been on this journey myself. Because I went through, when I worked at the corporate, there was crisis, there was a lot of things. So organizations were not in a position to invest in me, to develop me as a leader. So I see a lot of leaders taking the initiative to go enroll in executive programs, to hire a coach on their personal level. So is this a must? If my organization is not investing in developing me as a leader, can I just sit and say, oh no, I'm not going to develop myself, the company should invest in me? Or it's my responsibility, if I want to flourish and excel and become a high performance leader, to take that initiative and develop myself?